example. We're going to say it is 1 plus x to the 9th. Okay. So on this one, we look, does it have a greatest common factor? It doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can take the cube root of each term. So if I take the cube root of 1, what do I end up with? A 1. And if I take the cube root of x to the 9th, what do I end up with? X to the 3rd. That's right. Then I look and I say, okay, there is a plus sign. So I know I'm going to do the sum of cubes formula. Well, the sum of cubes, well, remember the word SOAP. S-O-A-P. So I'm going to do my same sign. So a plus b. And then I do parentheses a squared. I'm going to do the opposite sign. So minus ab. And then my last sign is always positive. And then we have our b squared. So that's the formula we're using. Now, I know that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to enter my 1 for my a's. And I know that I'm going to enter my x cubed for my b's. So we're going to fill it out just like we normally do. So I have parentheses, what? 1 plus x cubed, close parentheses, open them up again. 1 minus 1x cubed, or just x cubed, right? We don't need the 1 because 1 times x cubed just gives me x cubed. We have the plus sign. Now be careful. What is an x cubed squared? Careful. Remember, power to a power, we multiply our power. So it gives me an x to the 6th. All right. So we end up with this. Now remember, I told you whenever we were doing these problems, this right here ends up being prime. Let me change my color here. We can't do anything to this. It's impossible. But this one over here, I can factor that some more. If you look at this, I have a 1 plus an x cubed. Can I do the sum of cubes again? I can, so I'm going to. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm not done with this one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break this one apart. So I'm going to do, okay, can I take, what's the cubed root of a 1? A 1. And then what's a cubed root of an x cubed? An x. So now I can do SOAP for that formula. So I'm going to do S-O-A-P. And I'm going to do the same sign. So it's going to be a plus b. Then it's going to be a squared. I do the opposite sign, so minus ab. And then plus, because it's always positive. And then we have our b squared. But now whenever I do it, I'm actually plugging in these numbers here. So I'm going to do 1 for my a's. And I'm going to do an x for my b's. So now we've got this. So this one right here is actually splitting up into these two. So this one right here is splitting up into these two factors right there. Okay? So I'm going to fill those in. And I'm going to say, okay, it says a plus b. So what am I going to write? 1 plus x. And then parentheses, it says a squared. So 1 minus a times b. X plus, it says b squared. So x squared. Now, be careful. Remember, this one was prime. This means I can't do anything with it, so I have to make sure I drop it down. So it's going to be part of my answer. I'm going to have 1 minus x to the 3rd plus x to the 6th. I close my parentheses. This is what I would have to enter in my answer. So be careful. Sometimes you can break apart this first parentheses right here. Sometimes you might be able to do sum of cubes. Sometimes it might be difference of cubes. Sometimes it might be difference of squares, like the assignment that we did on 6.5b. Okay, so always check this one to see if you can't break it apart anymore. If you do it on Delta Math and it counts it wrong, go back and look and see. Maybe you can do something extra. Does anybody have any questions over that? Okay.